Hello, welcome to Hidden Existence and day 5 of the Bigfoot Odyssey update. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to everyone watching. You might not know this, but me and Leon have actually been fast asleep kind of like 10 minutes before the show started. Not together. We're in different countries, but we've had it off. And these late nights are catching up with me. I thought I had time, but anyway, so I will hopefully wake up before we get to Kerry coming on, and hopefully for my guest, who everyone will know, our Bigfoot Okanagan, Leon Thompson. Welcome, Leon.
Oh, sorry, you guys. Hi. Thanks for having me on tonight, Daniela.
You're welcome. Thanks for being there, ready, bright as a button, just like me.
Yeah, 2 minutes ago. It's like a chicken all of a sudden realizing that the farmer's coming out and you're in the stew tonight. It's like,
you need to go. You need to go right now. But anyway, we're here, and we're going to have Kerry on in a bit. I think he's going to have some good stuff to tell us. I spoke to him earlier today, but we'll have to wait and see for that. I wanted to talk, Leon, about because you've had an encounter, and I know you want to see that. You want to see the creature again. And I know some of the guys out there have a need to, once people have seen one, there seems to be those that don't want to know anything about it, but those that have a really strong urge to see that again. So what is that? And I know you do. What's behind all that?
I think I need more information. The curiosity. I need more information. So I want to see it again so I can see it with, like I mentioned before, with my eyes, my brain I have today. And I'll see in a total different, well, in a way, total different reality, but I don't mean that like a dimensional kind of thing. I just mean it in the sense of, I mean, I'm 57. It'd be nice to see one before I pass on. I know not too many people who've been doing research for years, decades, actually had a chance to see one again or see one for the first time. So, and I'm a little persistent, I guess. I know. I'm trying to figure out if I need to adjust my tone or the way I say things online. But because time is running out for me, it would be nice to have a higher standard, a higher level, like what they're doing tonight out there. It's great to see so many different channels working together, because I mean, I don't know if that could be possible a few years ago because of the political politics that seems to be was online. But we've been talking and working on this whole idea for the last 3 years about shifting everything and shifting the atmosphere and shifting how we're dealing with it and using each other as resources instead of competitors. So I think it's a pretty interesting thing. But for me, again, it just goes back to, I just want to see one again, like, and it'll be like fresh, like, holy smokes, there it is, instead of what the hell is that? And then have that whole process in my head. Maybe I won't see one ever again after that, like this time I see it. But it certainly would be fascinating to see it and then have the rest of my life to keep negotiating and work through what was it that I saw, how I saw it. I know the area they're in. I can check out a whole bunch of different stuff I don't have the answers for right now. So that's what I think is appealing for myself. Kerry is interesting little quacky duck there. Because I remember him about a year ago talking about, not even able to go back into the bush, after that whole thing. And now he's talking about, I'm going to go in there, well, I'm just filming everything. You can hear this kind of dualism going on. I want to go in and check, but I don't want to have this encounter and another experience again. So
I think as well, that's a testament to the guys that are there with him and that environment they've created. Seems to feel like a very safe space, all of them together.
I think that's a very good point. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. This is an interesting comment. High hopes hunters, we need to see to fully believe. And that's the one, isn't it? Believe is such a funny word to use, actually, in this subject. Knowers, believers, whatever it is. It is that, as much as I believe, Kerry, I believe you saw what you saw. You need to see things, don't you, to believe them?
Well, again, whenever you see something for the first time, the weird thing about that is you don't know it well enough, so you become curious and in a wonderment way of what was that? What did I just see? What did I just experience? And you can automatically, not in all cases, but in my cases, and I think Kerry's cases, and David and all those other guys who are out there right now, are at that same kind of scenario, which is, I want to know more. Something hits impacts your system, and it's good. It's like when you're going on a date with somebody and you fall in love, or you meet them for the first time, and you're all nervous during the first date, and then you kiss them goodbye. There's an appetite there to want to know more about that whole experience and what that thing was and what that person was like, and get to know more information about it. And I think it's a good thing myself. I'm just really happy that they're out there doing what they're doing. I hope they do find some pretty good stuff. I'm glad they didn't set themselves up as clickbait, because every show we get, again, it's like any major person's claim, like we have DNA from a Sasquatch and Bigfoot. What was that TV show just a couple of weeks ago? And it's supposed to be from a chimpanzee and blah, blah, blah. You get all this hype going, whereas Kerry has been very upfront talking about, it's about the process. And I think it's important that people need to see how to investigate. I mean, if they get it, something very unique, that's a bonus kind of thing. But people at home who are actually interested in this need modeling online instead of narration. I walk into the bush, I walk through the trees, I narrate this is this and this is this and this and that. Well, don't narrate it. And this and this and this, this is this and this is that is usually this is a Sasquatch, whatever this thing is that they're showing. But the piece that is missing is, can you explain to us, because it'd be very helpful, why it's a Sasquatch? I know it's a Sasquatch because this, and this. Oh, okay, that helps me. And how did you find it here? Because I went out here and I did this, and this, and this. And we've jumped the gun, and I don't blame people coming online, because, again, we come online too because we're curious. Again, that appetite. Oh, that first date I had was neat, and then we get hooked into another kind of channel on Bigfoot, and we get a little more curious about it. But sorry, been up for 6 minutes. I think I had a brain fart there.
You're all right. Okay. I mean, what I've forgotten to keep mentioning over the last 5 days that they've been out is it's not just looking for Bigfoot. It's the whole process of how many people have said, well, get out there and do it yourself and stuff like that. And actually, it's not that easy just to go out there. But this has been so well organized. Unfortunately, last year was, the whole world went crazy and it was out of their hands. But this has taken a long time in the making, and it's going to show actually all the possibilities of things that you can do when you're out there. And they've also got each other to be accountable to as well. So, and to keep them grounded. So they're not saying everything's Sasquatch, they have everybody there to kind of check this stuff out. So,
well, it's a real good test for the online community, and that they're actually willing to do it. Because you could know that a lot of terrible things can go horribly wrong in a scenario. And we're not even talking Bigfoot. We're just talking personalities, because there's so many lone rangers out here online doing stuff. But again, that's been shifting to more organizational style stuff. So here you have, at this point, a pretty major chance to do practicum in what would you do if you had the crew and it had a space that there was a good chance you may actually get them online. So, I mean, you're talking 10 people at least doing most of the electronic stuff, not even the research, just the backup stuff, getting the data, storing the data, sorting all that data, video, audio. and then you have the teams that have been going out on this regular kind of just like a military expedition. You're not up to kill anything, but to film them. But the way they're doing it is kind of interesting. I just heard last week there's a similar one coming up. I think it's this year in British Columbia, but it's 60 days. And
yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I don't know too much about it yet. I'm still investigating it. So the people who are kind of the major people that are in it are pretty, from my understanding, because I'm just checking out who are these people because I'm not familiar with a lot of them. Seem to be pretty solid people. They're looking for about $90,000 worth of donation. Like people that say, "Oh, they go for the money." Well, that's because they have some high-end academics going in with them, and they have to pay these academics. So it's not about that, but it'll be interesting because 60 days is a long time.
Yes, 2 months almost, isn't it?
Yeah. And they have the kind of same setup, probably a little not. It's more like a rotating system. So they have teams that go in, and then then that team's done their time. From what I understand, there's certain people that'll be there for almost the entire time, negotiating and navigating what the previous teams discovered. And then those people will share. The next team comes in, debriefs onto them what was going on and stuff like that. But you have an overlap from somebody that was there the first time to help them be on site, and it just keeps rotating over that 60 days. So I think that's what I'm understanding is going on right now. I could be not correct, but I'll fill in people once I get more information about it. But it's something nice that we're supposed to be. It's better than nice. It's what we're supposed to be doing. We should have been doing this 20 years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago for sure. But
well, it's taken time, hasn't it, to build up the mindset more than anything. When we first met, things seemed very different, didn't they? In the community, seemed to be a lot more negative. I don't know whether that's when you're a newcomer and you're coming in, you really see that side to it. But actually, when you're in it a little bit more, I'm feeling like I don't feel any negativity anymore, and that there's a really good, solid set of people now kind of running the show. I don't mean to use that term, but it feels like there's more credible people around now, or more accessible, rather than just odd videos on YouTube.
Well, I think that's part of that timeline of like YouTube history, at least for the topic of Sasquatch, is people came on, some people were interested, some people started channels, and I think we were talking about this the other day, or a while back, was the idea of before YouTube, how did people find out about it? And I thought, well, it would have to start off with web pages. Went to web pages because web pages were the big thing. Remember, everyone had to have a web page, and that's like 15 years ago. So, and then it changed from that into podcasts, and then it came and then it changed into that into little tiny stupid little cat videos, dog videos, and then that started expanding, and then the number one searcher, the finger, showed up pointing at Sasquatch stuff with an arrow, right? And but then we all got saturated in that. We all got bought into the priming narrative of that program, or that visual way of seeing things online. One guy, maybe a few people talking about stuff. But in the last 5 years, it shifted from that to people trying to do like documentary, organizational videos. And I think one reason why you and I aren't, somebody who's new, or some people maybe who've been jaded online, they would probably view this and that other 60-day research that's supposed to be happening in British Columbia as being, oh, here we go, people trying to prove it again. That's what I like about this one. We're not here for that. We're trying to up the game in the whole field. We got 20 guys out there. Is that correct?
I think there's 20, yeah.
All together as far as people go. And I mean, they're from a variety of different organizations. Some of the people are pretty big hitters. And we're not talking Sasquatch. We're just talking about what they used to do. And so it does, I think it's refreshing for us who have got past the point of, in a way, being gullible from what we were watching online before, or even on TV, right. So it's really quite a good
turnaround or result now. Just got a shout out to TC Glasgow last, because she's up 1:20 in the morning with me, and I know she's been struggling. Told her to get the Red Bull and coffee out today, and she's obviously done it because she's turned up tonight. And hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining the Hidden Existence family. Oh, look who we've got. Hello, Mr. Arnold. How are you?
I'm just a little tired. How's everybody else doing?
Well, we're just a little bit tired. I don't know if you know, but both me and Leon were fast asleep, like literally minutes before the show started tonight.
Hey, but you got some sleep. I can't get any sleep out here in the daytime. It's not possible.
I was going to say I can't
complain on my door. I mean, they can't help it. They need something. They need to know something or run an idea by, and we've kind of shifted gears a little bit. You know, we did our searching. Now we're doing things, bringing them to us. So that's what the teams are out doing now. We have 2 teams out there, quite a ways apart from each other in 2 different areas. But that's well, one is out. One is gonna get ready to go out, and I'm gonna stay here, and I'll be flying the thermal drone around here tonight. Just me and 2 others, I think, are staying here. The rest are gonna be out, just kind of hanging out around like in a circle, and just casually having thermals and night vision on the tree line around, and then listening, but you know, focusing on each other, talking, laughing, you know, trying to get them to come in closer to us. You know, Leon talked about the expedition in Canada, 60 days. I don't know how anybody would do it anywhere else and have any type of success. It's extremely difficult. And I heard you guys talking about the process, and that's right. That's mainly what we want to show, is just how hard it is. You know, I sent Daniela a picture that we caught of one in the tree line 300 yards away, sitting there watching us. And there's a couple out there. They're leaving tracks. They're coming in close, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. There is a very strange palm frond structure, is the best I can call it. Right by, there's a little fence out here, and on the other side of it, 50 feet from camp, there is a palm fronds, like 5 palm fronds in a circle on the ground, laid out flat. Well, Melanie Zaskey found a track. It's that same 15-inch track right there in it. It's almost like it's done intentionally. There's no other track but that one that's visible. They found, they just pulled 2 hairs out of it. They've got them and they're long and white. They look white anyway. They're probably clear. There's a lot of clear hair out here in these creatures, and maybe it just looks green and different colors, but Mark Zaskey's already showed us the clear hair, and they're probably clear and not white, but they're long, 4 or 5 inches long. And it just, we don't know if it's been there the whole time. So I'm gonna have to go back through footage and look, but we just noticed it. It's just a weird looking little thing in a circle there. I don't know, but they're watching us, and I guarantee you they're trying to be one with our hot dogs.
Is that code? What does that mean? I don't understand.
Well, they've just been known to raid coolers and things that around here. You know, the big reason why I wanted to come here is because I knew it was a viable area. Mark, you see what Mark and Melanie did the last 6 years out here, and in this whole area, they've been all over it. And you know, I'd come out here 4 years ago by myself for half an hour and had to leave because I just couldn't do it. I could tell they were around, and I think when you're by yourself, it's different than when you're with a group. So there's I think we're going to be doing some solo things too, which is, I don't really like that idea, but you know, I'm just trying to film as much of this as I can. I'm not going out with any team tonight. I'm staying here, and and just going to work the drone around this area, see what I can pick up. And like I said, shifting gears a little bit, trying something a little different. We do have some stuff, and I don't want anyone to think that we have some epic footage of a Bigfoot running through a field or anything like that. That's not it. But what we have is pretty good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think you've kind of got your eyes on a target, haven't you?
We do.
We do. Where you're heading to. Yeah.
Yeah, we caught them hanging out in the same areas, and they're not there all the time. But we do have static cameras set up now in the daytime. Anyway, just kind of scanning, checking, and I think they probably on to us. So they're not coming close while they know we're out. They're just not. But Stevie, for the last couple of nights, has been having something go on because they're over on the other side over there. I've been having something going on over there, so we've got her equipped tonight just to hopefully maybe catch something. I'll tell you guys, this is what happened to me and Clay last night.
Okay.
After I got off with you guys, we grabbed us a bunch of equipment and got ready, and I'm carrying drone, and I put my gun on, and I've got my really bright light, and we're walking out to the corner out here, and I'm going to fly the drone a little deeper in because the signal's kind of iffy once it gets 700 or 800 yards away. The drone signal's fine. It's the camera signal for the thermal. So we get probably 200 yards from camp, and all of a sudden the grass is about 3 feet tall, and we're going down this little trail through the grass. All of a sudden, growl, hiss, and just snapped at us from 10 feet away. Well, I jumped, and we both jumped. I dropped everything. I drew my pistol, and it sounded like a cougar, just like a cougar. And that's what Clay said. Is that a cougar laying in the grass? Well, I raised my light up and looked, and all I could see was black. And I said, "Is that a panther?" We could hear it growling at us. Well, and everybody else comes up. So I take the drone up. I point the camera straight down. I take the drone up. I get over it, and it's a 6-foot alligator. And it was about 10 feet away from us. And I was really disappointed it wasn't a panther, to be honest with you. We were trying to get him to move, but it growled and sounded just like a cougar, a panther. And I should have known, because you could see its back raise up, and it would start hissing, just blowing, and it would take in a deep breath and blow. It was pissed off at us. But he was a 6-footer right here, 200 yards from camp, probably going over to this little bit of water that's over here beside us. But scary. That was a scary deal.
Yeah, but I mean, we've always said there's more to contend with out there just than this looking for Bigfoot. Right. You've got a lot of stuff around you. Russell Snell, thank you, Russell. I'm glad you've made it to the live, because he always seemed to be getting it too late when I've just finished. So I'm glad you made it on time. He says, Kerry, any information you glean is more knowledge than what we've had. It's certainly.
I don't know if that's true or not, Russ. It's
well, you may be confirming things that we've, that it's not that easy to go out there. It's not that easy to capture stuff. I mean, you've got the best equipment you can possibly have and the best made plans, but you can't plan seeing one.
Right. You can't make these things come out.
Yeah.
Well, it's practical. It's practical too. I mean, it's you guys are doing practical. You guys are learning stuff that we were just talking about this before you came on, which is we need people to do what you're doing so we can be educated at home to how to do it instead of think we know how to do it. So it's nice to see that you guys that are, again, from such a variety, eclectic styles of different organizations and channels, and that you're there together. The atmosphere there when you went there wasn't a whole bunch of people get together to go look for Sasquatch on the weekend kind of thing. It was about, we have a plan. This is a strategy. You got great equipment. So that ups the game for everybody's capacity there, which gives you security. You know, you're with other people, 20 other people. So that's a big, huge bonus for us at home to watch.
The main plan was to show everything, to show the failures, to show the successes, because that's what other people can learn from, is us failing, you know.
Yes.
And either, you know, piggyback off of that and or go with what's working. You know, we're going to tell you exactly what we're getting. We're going to show you exactly what's going on, what we're hearing, what we're getting a response from. You know, there was one thing, some calls that they tried that we did not film because these guys gave their word that they wouldn't let anybody know how to do them. I don't understand it myself, but when people give their word, you know, we're going to stick to that. So it doesn't make any sense to me. You would think, well, the whole idea is they don't want someone out there doing the calling and getting hurt. And I guess I can understand that, but I think it's probably something different than that. But the guys gave their word they wouldn't do it.
Yes. So. Sorry. Got a few questions coming up. Catherine Dale, what kind would you prefer to see? A giant monster, a human resembling face that is not aggressive?
Good question.
Color, size, etc.
I have no desire to see either one. I've seen one angry, and the sense of power is overwhelming. It will completely and totally change your life emotionally. So that's just from my perspective. I would rather not see one again. I understand I'm out here doing this, and I think I've made it pretty clear that I did not really want to do this, but no one else was doing it. So.
Yeah, and kudos to you. I don't think there's no failure in anything that you're going to be doing. It's all about education and learning. That's all it is. And you're putting it to a level to teach us that we don't know. We're not out there for 20 people with 20 people with the resources you have. We're not almost walking on and hearing a hissing sound and get our legs ripped off and hauled away somewhere in the bush. That would be a real experience for someone just with an alligator.
A 10-footer probably would have come after us, but this little 6-foot guy, and you know, it's mating season for alligators, so I think the big guys have the little guys run out of those wet bottoms, which we're trying to stay out of for that very reason. But he was out here in the tall grass, and we walked right up on him 10 feet away before he let us know he was there.
Yeah. And how to decipher the eye shine of those compared to those of a Sasquatch, because they'll be out there quite a bit.
They're really bright, and they're either blue or green, and they're going to be low to the ground. Obviously, hopefully they're not going to be up in the trees. Yeah, we have gotten some 8-foot eye shine out here. Down, I'm not going to say where. I almost said exactly where it was.
Oh,
this is how tired I am.
Yeah, you need to be careful. Well, let's put another little question up from Pilar Sutton. How did the crying baby audio work?
We don't know yet. We don't know.
Okay.
All we've been doing is changing out SD cards and batteries and leaving it alone. We've got the static cameras going. When it gets dark, we turn on the thermal that's poking out of the tent. I mean, the tent's zipped up. The only thing that's sticking out is the lens. And we hit record on that, and then every 4 hours, because that's all it will record for, they go grab the data off of it, clean it, put it back on, set it up again, and go. And then daytime, we're using the 4K cameras and the directions. We have them pointed, and they're hidden with Spanish moss and got tape over the lights, and they maybe the boogers will notice it, but I wouldn't notice them if I was just walking up. So, or coming close, creeping up close to check out this tent with this crying baby and this snoring person and this hog in distress thing we have on a loop, actually. So, sorry. So, yeah, you know, we're pulling out all the stops and we're filming it, and I'm gonna put it together the best way I can to show you guys. I don't know. I got to thinking about 7 parts and just how probably boring that might be for everybody. But we do have things every day, and it might be a lot to watch. I'll have to see. It may be 4 or 5 parts by the time I get through with it, but it's going to be everything we've done condensed. I don't want to show a bunch of fluff and a bunch of us sitting around and nothing really happening, and it'd be boring for anybody. So I'm just going to take, the anything that tells what we're doing that's going to be educational, and then show the action, what we're getting, the reactions of the teams and what they feel and what they're thinking. So, like I said before,
yeah, I'm just saying that takes the pressure off you. You can.
Well, just like I said before, you can think of these things and they sound okay in the moment, and then you get out here and do it, and it kind of changes a little bit. So I'm not saying I won't do. I may do a part for each day. It sounded good at the time, but like I said, I don't want it to be this any.
It's not an entertainment show. It's not an entertainment show where you're going to leave a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of each one. A bit like Oak Island, and we, keep going. I'd rather you just put, quality and what the guys have gone through and all the good stuff. I think everybody would appreciate that.
I agree. So it's still going to be long because we've been out here filming so much, and there's a lot to go through. We've obviously been scrubbing through some things already with this big screen. We caught these guys out here looking. I mean, Daniela, you saw that picture. It's just 300 yards away through a telephoto lens. And that's not all we got. That's just a little picture I wanted to show Daniela that they are out here watching us. So we do have some things. We are going to show some stuff, everything that we got. You guys are going to see. We're not holding anything back. We're not hiding anything. We're going to show every process that we did, and I think everyone should do that. That's why I don't understand this whole call deal and wanting to hide that, but I do understand giving your word, and that's really enough for me.
Strangeland says, is Lynn using her dog with its skills? I don't think Lynn took her dogs, did she?
No, Lynn's dog isn't here.
Yeah. Okay.
Russell, Young Monster, has his 2 dogs here. And then Chad has his dog. But they're not being let out. They're just here at camp because they had nothing else to do with them. They couldn't. They were going to kill them up, but Chad's dog Boris, he got loose once, and he's a pain and needing what to catch. So he likes to run. We called him. I mean, that alligator would have got him without a doubt.
Yeah. God, you don't want that happening, do you?
No, it would have been over.
I've got a question. Sorry, go on.
I was just saying the only reason we didn't get got is because we're people and it was only a 6-footer. So he wasn't backing down.
Wow. Have you, Adam Max says, in any way have you tried to circle these creatures yet? Has that been possible?
Adam, I think that's probably a good strategy when we do get a thermal hit. They're just so slick. They know what the hell you're doing. They just know. It's so hard to if you get a thermal hit that's 100 yards away, and you can pretty well tell it's a large body, and you send guys out, okay, and you're watching them and you're trying to direct them into it. The time, because we're going to have one of these to show you. The time they get there, the thing is gone. So, but we didn't do the circling thing. I do think that's probably a better strategy to do, though, is to get around, maybe get someone behind it in position that way. They're just so few and far between, and I think when you're anxious, mistakes are made. You're thinking you can just walk up and maybe catch it running off, but it's not the case. As soon as they see you heading their way, they're gone.
Yeah, and fatigue's starting to set in on you guys too, and that's when you have to stick with what you had planned. with the enthusiasm you had at the beginning, which is hard discipline to do when your body's getting fatigued and tired. So.
Oh yeah, this is hard, and we knew it was going to be. We knew it was going to be hard. Very, very difficult to accomplish what we ultimately wanted to do. We still have 3 days to go, and we still feel pretty good about our chances just from what we've learned up to this point. But I think it's going to be them coming closer to us and going to different places and letting them come closer to us, and then maybe spring into action and get a better image of one either trying to get away or us getting one angry. I would love to see that happen. Not angry to the point that they want to hurt somebody, but angry to the point to where it's yelling, screaming.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what kind of vocals and audio we have from out in our setup recorders. We have them all over the place. So it's a lot of things yet to be seen, and cameras, constantly running cameras, no infrared, none of that daytime. So who knows? We don't know any of that yet. We know what we know, and it's not bad, but we haven't gotten what we're after yet.
No, but day by day they're getting more and more curious. They've coming in, and so with a few more days, who knows how they might think you're there for good, and whatever their perspective is, they might come a little bit closer and be a little bit more daring. Who knows?
For sure, for sure. Patience as a virtue is not just handed out. These are things you have to learn, and we're learning how to use ours doing this for sure, because these things they'll wait you out. They'll wait till you just can't go, till you just can't go anymore. And when you go down, that's when they're going to come in and get their hot dog or apple or whatever you got. We had 4 apples set out on the fence out here, and they've got something's gotten every one of them. They're all gone. And we don't know if we've caught anything on camera with it. Like I said, we have somebody fixed up with that right now. I'm going to fly the drone. I'm not going out anywhere. I'm going to go right here at the edge of camp and just go back as far as I can and do that. Something's wrong with this screen. It's not recording. So I've got to film the screen. So
you're kidding.
Yeah, so using the XA50 to film the screen is just as clear. I'll just crop out everything else and you'll see it just as clear as we're seeing on the screen. So
cool. Smoke and Joe says, Kerry, what's been your most successful time of day?
I think success is subjective. What I would say is anytime they're around and paying attention. I don't know if they shift out or what, but I think they're watching us all the time. It's not like we're seeing them and then filming them with our own 2 eyes. We're having to catch dark spots, zoom in on them, get extremely stable. Stability is the most important thing. If you're not stable, you're going to get a blob squatch, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So we've got stability. We've got telephoto lenses on the cameras, and so we're able to reach out pretty far. But just catching those dark spots, and they're not there every time. We've only been able to catch them a couple of times out there because I think they move around. But this thing out here is kind of weird. This circular palm frond deal that we found out. I don't think it was there when we got here. I don't remember. We're going to have to go back through footage to see. And there is a track in it. That same 15-inch track we got right up the path, and we got another 11-inch track a little bit further up. So these are the younger guys, I think. Yeah.
We've got Cornell. Thank you, Cornell. Cornell's going to be on tomorrow night with Dave Wilbanks from Bigfoot and More. He says he had one outside his camp last weekend in Oklahoma, and he was terrified. Can't imagine how intense your encounter was for you, which it was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just going back
Kept
up.
me out
Sorry,
of the
guys,
woods.
it's missing. Yeah.
Kerry, where your main camp is, what's the distance between where you guys are going out to do your research?
Miles.
Okay.
Yeah, one is probably 10 miles. We went 14 miles on one. We went about 8 miles on another. Now we have gone back here, but we kind of want to stay out of there because we don't want to push them away.
Right.
So we're not really hitting this around the camp too hard. We're kind of wanting them to come in. So, like I said, shifting gears from here on out, we've done our search, looking. Now we're going to go to different places and have them come in to us. So.
And when you guys are going out at night, nighttime, it's just for helping us at home. And you're using radios at nighttime. How are you controlling the bleep on the radio? Are you guys got them attached to earplugs and stuff like that? So
yeah, we have headsets. A couple times we haven't used them, but it doesn't bleep. These radios don't bleep.
That's good.
Yeah, it's just you just hear a little check where someone's pushed the button, but they don't. It's not like a Motorola that beeps when you do it. They're good radios.
Modern technology, Leon.
I wouldn't know what that is for Canada.
Yeah, well, you know, we've got all the high-tech equipment. Pappy Two Bears, how are you doing, Gordon? Kerry, don't forget to do a show of the outtakes and the bloopers. I reckon there's quite a bit of that. I reckon you can have some good stuff there.
Yeah,
with the
you don't want to hear what I was saying when we were down to that alligator.
So did you put up a cooler by the fence where the apples are and put a camera inside it?
No.
So when they're shopping tonight, when they're shopping tonight, come down. Oh, let's get some fruit. Oh, what's in this cooler here?
Yeah, we haven't done that.
Alrighty.
We're just leaving fruit out, apples out, and like I said, 4 of them are gone. Don't think any one of us grabbed them.
Just got to say thank you, Sky Forest Nature Meditation, and all to everybody else who's donated tonight. Thank you so much. You're all amazing.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I've missed any questions because it is going quite fast again tonight, and I know I've missed. This is a good point. How hard is it sleeping knowing Bigfoot is around?
Good question.
Celine.
For me, I've been pretty tired. So the thing is, I'm not out here by myself, and there's people all around. So it's not that hard. I can imagine if I were with 2 or 3 people, it would be a lot different. So for now, it's not that tough. We're wearing ourselves out. So sleeping is not an issue, and knowing that there are people that are up with guns, we have that false sense of security, I suppose. Ignorance is bliss, say that.
Kind of, yeah. But you do need to sleep, don't you? You need to try and get what you can.
Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. But I can imagine if there were only 3 or 4 of us out here, it would be a lot harder.
Yeah, 100%.
Jackie Myers Lowman says, Kerry, how is Brad in his back? I want to see it all. Be careful.
Brad's a trooper. That's all I can say. Brad has found another level of intensity. Absolutely. Wow. Especially since I'd say yesterday. Brad kind of got a little intense on us.
Oh, okay.
It's a good thing.
It was going to happen. Had to happen. I think Leon would agree with that. In that as much as you're in a safe environment and everything, all you people together in one space, it's bound to, and the situation, I think, is bound to bring out emotions or, stress and all sorts.
I'm here to make a film. These guys are out here to get the shot, and they feel like they're letting us down if they don't get that shot. So, yeah, things are starting to amp up with just 3 days left. So they're really, really wanting to do it, and the reason I chose these people.
Yeah, you've picked some great people, and we're all looking forward to what you're doing. We're all, grateful for you being out there and doing it and sharing it with us as well each night. Like I said,
I just hope
at the
it's
beginning,
good. I hope these people can learn a little something from it. That's the whole idea.
It's going to be good. You're doing it,
If we can get something really convincing, then I think it will be what we actually came after. But showing the process, showing what we're doing, that's working, that's not working, and talking about why we believe it did or didn't, I think is as important as anything. But just so people can understand just how difficult it is when they ask those questions. While all these cameras are out there, why don't we have a good picture? Well, why don't we run into their bodies? There are answers to these questions because they do exist. They are here. No question.
Yeah. And Adam Mack says here, praying for Kerry and the crew, and they get what they came for. And you know what? I think they've already surpassed that in many ways as well. They've probably got more than what, not just Bigfoot evidence, but like I say, the journey for everybody and everything building up to it as well before you set off. It's been a long time coming, really. I feel like you're making the most of it, and it's going to be good, whatever you do.
Doing our best. It's definitely it's definitely harder than I expected. The continuous filming is just it's logistically a nightmare to do that.
Yeah, and they go and get tough. The tough get going. It's right.
Yeah, Marty. You're right, Marty.
I just wish I was 20 years
tough. We're gonna finish this. We're gonna, and these guys are gonna finish strong. They're, like I said, things are they're amping up.
Good.
I just got a text. They got movement going on. So.
Oh wow. Well, we'll let you go. Someone did ask me to share the picture, but I promised you I wouldn't, and I won't. Not
sorry, guys.
Yeah.
You'll get to see it probably around July.
That's not long to go.
No. It's a decent picture. It really is, but it's not anything that's going to convince a skeptic, But
it just shows that they are there. They're not far away. And they've clocked onto you, and the game's on, I think. Or maybe it's been on.
It's that caveman bone structure. It's got the symmetry in the apex and a little bit of shoulder, and they're sitting there watching us. You can see the dang whites in this guy's eyeballs. So,
well, it's all good.
Yeah, get some sleep if you can. Micro naps are pretty good. We just had one before we came on. So
right. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna fly the drone at 10. It's 9 here, so I'll probably give me a little power nap before then.
Nice.
But I gotta find out what they're getting right now first. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers for coming on. We'll catch up again tomorrow night, same time, same place. Take care. Can you ask Jeff to message me?
I certainly
Tell him
will.
I need to hear from him. He knows why.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Cheers. You take care.
All right. Bye, Kerry.
Good night, y'all.
All right.
See you, Leon.
Bye. Bye. Oh, what's happened to Leon? You there?
What's going on?
So that's pretty good. I think there's a lot going on there that he's not letting on. Obviously, he wants to save as much. But one of the reasons he went out there was to make documentary, to kind of share it all. But I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good. He did send me a photo. I can't share it, obviously, but they're there. They've honed into them, and like I said, the game's on.
The game's afoot. Yes. Oh, the game's afoot. Yes.
Oh,
That's
game's
what-
Bigfoot.
Yeah. The Bigfoot.
Thank you again, Paris. Thank you so much. And everyone else that I missed that I couldn't say thank you to while Kerry was on for the super chats. I really appreciate it. So what do you think, Leon? They've, you know, it's a good plan, isn't it? What they've done. They couldn't really do any more. I don't, you know, it's going to be hard for anyone really to knock what they're doing, even if they don't come up with a very clear, you know,
Well,
stood out there in the open, you know, going, hands up, you got me.
yeah.
Not going to get that, but, well, we might, I don't know, but it's this journey, isn't it? The effort, what it takes.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing they're going to be dealing with right now is going to be fatigue. And we're talking about that, the 8 personalities that are involved out here, and how you're going to get more crankier. And Patrick, getting more, you know, you're getting crankier, not necessarily with people around you, but you're just over fatigued. You know, it's like,
well, even with the best intentions, being with 20 people that you don't know. I mean, you've got to know them, but first time meeting a lot of these people, a little bit different meeting in the flesh, and it's a lot to adjust to. So for those 20 folks to be getting on and doing this is pretty amazing as well. There's bound to be emotions. There's bound to be some sort of, like you say, bit of crankiness, bit of whatever. We're just human, aren't we?
I don't think that's not expected. I mean, when I used to throw these style of campouts for 150, 300 people, there's always a cycle that happens within a 7-day system like that. Because you're in a system, 20 new personalities in that system, a lot of unknown stuff with these personalities, a lot of excitement and projection onto the hope of what the target is you're shooting for. But there's all of the human factor that's they're going to have to really be monitoring, not just about Sasquatch, so that their body, I mean, if you're fatigued and you haven't got much sleep and you believe you're stronger than what you are, because you will think that way. If you have a bad experience, bluff charge and stuff like that, boy, that can cause a lot of problems and difficulties. Like Kerry tonight, you can see he was going back into his original sighting and stuff, and you could see how that like at least I was reading his body language, and you could see how he's keeping it under control. He's balancing it okay, but you touch it a little bit because of the fatigue. You can see it kind of jerk him a little bit, and. Yeah, and again, that's what we're wanting is that documentation that they're doing. It's not about never has this ever been about that they're going to catch a Sasquatch. It's about the process of doing something like this and filming it, just like what I'm doing with the slow cam encounter. It turned out Matt Moneymaker didn't know what he was talking about. But it's the slow down. What do you do about this? How does it unravel? And so I do that 3-part video series on that, so that people understand is if you're just doing the basic, or you're just starting off, what do you start off with? What happens? You get a report, comes in, all this kind of stuff. And that conversation on Bigfoot Odyssey has been going on for about maybe 3.5 years, about a good location to go and do this project on. And then Kerry finds the right people with the right area. That's what all of us would be doing, including myself. Now, and then the next thing you have to do is you have to try all these different strategies and techniques. Then you mid-adjust halfway through the event. And then one thing I wish I had a chance to ask him is, are you guys debriefing each other once a day, like say in the morning, so that everyone knows what's happening, what's going on, where the direction is, and what that would all look like and stuff? I'm sure Kerry will film that whole stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know they would be, but again, the timeline where they're at right now is the fatigue of hearing maybe important information that someone throws into the environment, but it's not picked up quite as readily, because they might need that building block that day, and all of a sudden, hey, there's something about this I'm looking at. Like even that thing they found with the footprint in the middle, the palm, or however he called it.
What's interesting, do you remember showing me that picture of the print you were looking at, and you said there's another print in there?
Yes.
And it's ages, and I said, oh look, there's a print on the other side. And how many times had you looked at that picture
Yeah.
I'd never seen the other footprint that was there, the little one.
Totally.
So,
and the person who sent me that print didn't realize that print was it back
the
that
one
little.
that you found.
Yeah, and then I showed you, and then you said, "Hey, there's another print there," and I've been looking at the bloody print 100 times, but it's funny, you just get this blank, blind sight or something like that, and it's right there as soon as you said it, bam.
Yeah. And this image is just one print. It's not a set of tracks or anything. It's just a picture of one print, and you found another print within the print, and I found another print next to the little print. So yeah,
and it's not pareidolia. They're pretty obvious, and that's what's funny about this whole thing.
Definitely, yeah. It's just the position of them and where they're at.
Yeah.
But when you see it, don't you?
Yeah.
So, everyone, I'm just gonna have a quick look. I've lost so many of the comments tonight. I apologize for that. It's just there's so many of you in, which is amazing. But at the same time, I've lost quite a bit of the comments. But I'm gonna go through them later. And Scotching Cowboy, did Moneymaker ever respond to you? Did you ever hear back from him?
Yeah, it sounded. He said this to me. He said, "Cricket, cricket, 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 cricket." That's all I heard was crickets after that. Well, that's all I heard as soon as he realized we were going on site. Crickets. End of emails. No comment. No, hey Leon, okay, let me know. Nothing. As soon as he knew we were going on site, just crickets.
Probably the sound of tumbleweed. Sounds better than crickets. It's probably more like what it is. Quick question before from Russell. Russell, if you go and look, I don't know what episode it is. I'll have a look. But Leon saw. I'll let you tell, Russell. Very quickly. We're nearly.
Yes.
We're nearly time for bed, isn't it? I'm gonna say sorry to everyone, but it is catching up with me.
You say, this isn't. You just said the F-bomb there.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
What did I say?
I don't want to say it.
What did I say? When did I say it? I didn't say it. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I'll rewind later. People watching it, let me know if I was wrong.
Everybody will have heard me if I did say that. I'll put someone in the swear jar, but I don't. Blame it on the tiredness. If I did, I don't.
I must be tired. It must be my brain.
But basically, you saw one playing on the back of a moose when you were a kid, and you did an interview with me. I'm going to find the episode while you maybe could give a little bit of a minute or two or one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Don't have any background music. Yeah. I saw something that looked like we're driving on Trans-Canada Highway, and there was something on the back of a moose that was, I don't know, maybe 3 feet. It was just this black object on the back of the moose, and it was right here on its shoulder, on its head. The moose was standing in the middle of a small lake. It was blue skies, mid-afternoon, and every time the moose's head went under the water to graze at the bottom, this black object went down the back of its neck. And then, so this is the moose, goes down into the water, pulls up. As it's going down, this black object from the shoulders crawls down the neck, then goes up like this and starts munching away. And I thought, this is kind of strange. I'll probably never share this story with anybody that I've ever met, because they'll think I'm crazy, unless we're really drunk maybe one night. But and that's why I didn't say anything to anybody for a long time. But I saw it pretty fairly clear. The weird thing about it was the only reason why I got the guts to share it, which was with Thomas Steenberg, when I was actually interviewing him. I told him a story before, and we were filming, and he mentioned it in the film. But the only reason why I had the courage to say it was because of this platform we call YouTube, where I started seeing a lot of interspecies hanging out with each other. And baboons stealing puppies, so they raise them and actually use them as sentries for their troops. And deer, they get taken care of by a dog. Wolf and grizzly then hang out. A crow feeding a kitten. And I thought maybe that is the context. At least it gives me a contextual context to understand a bit more. What would that be? So But it was playing on the. It was totally relaxed on the back of it. It was like there's nothing. It wasn't spooked out. The moose wasn't spooked out because every time the head went down to go in the water, the thing went down head first down in the water and put his hand out like this, and was playing with the water. And then that moose lifted his head up, and then it just kind of slid back down, went in the back there, and was kind of just hanging around. And then the moose went down again and did the same sort of thing. It looked like it was fine. It was like getting babysat. So I don't know if
I've just put a link up to the interview you did with me in the chat there of Leon's encounter, and where he goes into a lot more detail about that. And it's very interesting. Where is Lake Okanagan next to? Because I always introduce you from near Lake Okanagan.
Okanagan Lake. But it's I'm very precise with Okanagan.
Obviously, I'll get it right next time, hadn't I? Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I live in southern part of a province called British Columbia, Canada, and it's called the Okanagan Valley, and it's paradise. A lot of vineyards and stuff here. It's quite a beautiful country that I live in. So, and it's near Okanagan Lake, which is about a 60 kilometer long lake. That's just one of the lakes. We probably have close to 500 lakes within an hour and a half of where I live right here. So a lot of forest. The target is a moving needle in a haystack of forest. So like Kerry tonight, I think a couple of years ago when they were talking about this, is it a controllable environment? To do this kind of thing, you need an environment that's been researched, that it's controllable, or there's natural boundaries that it gives you more opportunity of them having to slow down and readjust. But if you don't have that area, you're just looking for something walking that's faster than you. So,
Look,
Steve.
Joe, don't make me say it.
Oh. Did he? What did Steve say?
I didn't say it. Look, thank you, Harvey. I said, what? Or something like that. But yeah, I didn't swear. No,
Okay.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, Phil, I think we're on autopilot tonight. I'm really having to be careful what I say, obviously. Swearing. All right, guys. We're going to be back here again tomorrow night, same time, same place, 7 o'clock Central. Like I say, we've got Dave Wilbach's on from Bigfoot and More, and who I've actually been wanting to get on the show for quite a while. I just never quite got round to it, but we're doing it. And Cornell from No Such Thing podcast. So looking forward to that. Thanks again for joining in. I'm sorry if I missed your questions. I've done my best. Oh, before we go, Kerry answered your question, Leon. He said we had an initial interview and debriefing, and now everyone is taking notes for a final debriefing. It's just too much to get everyone when they come in because they're wiped out.
Totally. Yeah.
So cheers for that, Kerry. Francesca. Hi, Diane. That's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I say goodnight. So, guys, see you tomorrow. Until then, everyone, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Leon. Bye-bye.